Since you've completely shattered the status quo, a top investigator has been put on your trail. They have their methods to track ordinary people, but you exist beyond their limited perception of reality. While they scramble to find you using their earthly techniques, you move effortlessly through dimensions that remain inaccessible to them, transforming everything you touch. Your divine power has methodically dismantled the corrupt systems they've built, leaving a wake of exposed criminals and toppled hierarchies. Now, a detective pursues you. This is not a mere paper pusher or a bureaucratic enforcer, but something far more sinister. This investigator operates between dimensions, able to peer through the gaps of reality where you thought you were hidden. Your spiritual fingerprints mark this cosmic disturbance, and the cosmic authorities have dispatched their most relentless hunter because they have become aware of your presence. For years, you remained in the shadows, a whisper, a ghost, just as you were meant to be, blending with the anonymous to remain unseen. Did you not feel something smolder and ignite within you? That spark, which was intended to flicker softly until the right moment, instead erupted into a blaze, illuminating the entire spiritual framework. This fire, this power, could not be contained. It was a strength you could not suppress, and the knowing within you was destined not to stay buried. The quantum fluctuations, the probability distortions, and the spikes in consciousness, these anomalies were quickly recognized. Recall the scorn, the mockery, the false concern cloaked in condescension as they dismissed every insight, every suggestion, and every warning you offered. They urged you to stick to your lane, know your place, and temper your expectations, as if your life's purpose was to be a brief footnote in the grand narrative of creation. Yet you, chosen one, were not designed for conformity, nor were you calibrated for containment or destined for mediocrity. You were crafted by the divine architects to create disruption, to undergo transformation, and to be a living catalyst, one that, when ignited, would render existing systems obsolete simply through your existence. Now, without effort, you have become the focal point of clandestine meetings behind closed doors. Your name echoes in boardrooms you've never set foot in, your essence infiltrating discussions you were never asked to join, upending institutions you've never openly questioned. The psychic detectors embedded throughout the collective consciousness are shrieking with unprecedented alerts. "How did we overlook this one?" they murmur. "Where did they emerge from?" they demand. "Which protocol failed to contain this awakening?" they query, alarmed by the degree of awakening that has penetrated their filters. The detective they've dispatched is not wielding a badge or dressed in a trench coat, but navigates instead through social networks, digital footprints, and psychic imprints, observing, recording, and evaluating what makes you so uniquely disruptive. Every synchronicity surrounding you, every unlikely opportunity that graces you, every miraculous escape that preserves you, and every divine appointment that guides you is under scrutiny day after day as they search for the pattern that explains the inexplicable. They analyze every strange choice, every unforeseen connection, and every inexplicable success that defied their forecasts. Not because you broke the law, but because you shattered the paradigm, and the system cannot tolerate patent violations. Your being is a celebration of breaking patterns, provoking others to challenge their prescribed limitations. When enough individuals break free from their patterns simultaneously, the entire edifice of control becomes unsustainable. Predictability serves as the fuel that powers the machine of modern life. Algorithms anticipate your purchases, models forecast your behavior, and systems predict your thoughts even before you are conscious of them. Billions are spent maintaining human behaviors within reasonable confines, while trillions are diverted to preserving the limited spectrum of possibilities that sustain the power structures around us. You are acutely aware of the moment you flipped the entire board without declaring it, crafting a manifesto, or even having conscious intent. Just by living your truth, the effects rippled through the collective, warping predictions, confusing models, and tainting every algorithm that sought to categorize you. The machinery of their reality transformed your true essence into cosmic sand. People sense a shift in energy upon your arrival. Some are drawn to you, unaware of why, while others recoil from an unidentified threat. Without uttering a word, you've altered the energetic architecture of every space you enter, simply by being your authentic self. The air reorganizes itself around you. Conversations gravitate toward your essence, and social dynamics shift to account for this new force. They are unsure whether to study you, silence you, recruit you, or confront you. Each strategy possessing its own risks and potential to amplify your influence instead of diminishing it. They watch, wait, and send their detectives to gather more intelligence in hopes of uncovering the formula that will allow you to be understood. Suppression may awaken your latent powers, elimination may convert you into a more potent force, and recruitment may corrupt their system from within. Yet the very frameworks they utilize to comprehend reality cannot encompass what you represent. A variable that defies constancy, a wild card whose value fluctuates with each calculation, or a quantum possibility that exists in multiple states simultaneously. Consequently, no formula exists for cosmic anomalies, no equation for divine intervention, and no algorithm for chosen ones. Don't be misled. A new stage of investigation has commenced. Their conventional analyses have not yielded actionable intelligence, and passive observation has proven inadequate. The next phase involves active interventions and focused operations, intended to test your resilience, probe your defenses, and determine your limiting thresholds. Have you noticed the whispers? You're on the wrong path. You've lost your way. You're becoming unrecognizable. They worry about your well-being. Have you considered seeking help? These doubtful voices flit around like vultures, potentially arising from loved ones, friends, strangers, respected authorities, or even from within a mind contaminated by their invasive suggestions. Observe how your once reliable support network has begun to erode. Note the subtle withdrawals, the inexplicable absences, and the growing distance. Friends who don't return your calls, colleagues who suddenly seem aloof, and family members who question your stability. This is a strategy, not mere coincidence. Isolation will precede elimination. They know that cutting you off from your tribe renders you vulnerable. In solitude, you might stumble and forget your radiance. They wield fear as a weapon, honing in on your deepest anxieties while choosing words designed to cut the most deeply. They exploit your past, childhood scars, adolescent traumas, and adult setbacks, leveraging these against your emerging brilliance to undermine your ascendance. Have you sensed the fixation you inspire, the obsession you create, and the preoccupation you command? No one can overlook you. Some aim to control you, some seek to comprehend you, some wish to extinguish you, some yearn to adore you, and others dream of possessing you. Your very presence demands a reaction, invading hearts and spaces, accelerating discussions and halting conversations mid-sentence. Eyes dart toward you before promptly retreating, as though direct gaze could unveil too much or lay bare the observer to energies beyond their current capacity. In a realm where the ordinary laws of spiritual physics cease to function, and without any effort, intention, or verbal imposition, your presence creates an energetic compass that spins wildly, like a magnetic anomaly. The number of observers continues to grow. Some utilize cameras and notebooks to study you in public, questioning, "What's your secret? How do you do it? Will you teach me?" Others watch from shadows, screens, or peripheral awareness, researching, evaluating, and assessing. Others endeavor to mimic your techniques to replicate your outcomes, tracking your trends in hopes of uncovering vulnerabilities to exploit. Yet, your very existence generates a gravitational distortion in the social fabric, acting as an inexplicable force. People find this unsettling because they cannot identify, classify, or integrate what you bring into their pre-existing conceptual frameworks. You operate beyond their intellectual constraints, beyond their narrow vocabulary, and into the realms of the extraordinary. Welcome to the Chosen One's Sanctuary, a space where the miraculous, the transformative, and the divine intertwine to illuminate the path ahead. Beyond their binary thinking, energy hardly acknowledges its presence, merely skimming the surface influence, underplaying it, and charisma fails to articulate it. What courses through you defies description because articulating it would restrict it, and this power rejects all boundaries. What you carry is cosmic authorization. What you embody is divine disturbance. It predates language, functions beyond ideas, and manifests through you, originating from beyond the constructed order. No human achievement could possibly warrant this level of cosmic commitment. You couldn't earn it. You were chosen because something about your unique configuration, the way your abilities, traumas, scars, gifts, flaws, and strengths align, forms the perfect vessel for the frequency required at this pivotal moment in collective progress. They overlooked you initially, a standard reaction to anomalies, often reverting to baseline without support, merely a response to abnormalities that may self-correct. Then they laughed, interpreting your authenticity as parody, using derision as a tactic for suppression and dismissal as a secondary defense against emerging threats. Now they panic. Emergency procedures are activated, resources rerouted, focus sharpened, and priorities reshuffled. The system now views you as an existential challenge rather than a mere glitch, recognizing a profound change in the fundamental code of reality itself, not just a temporary aberration. Since every system aims to assimilate what it cannot eliminate, they first attempted integration. They offered legitimate pathways for your energy, sanctioned channels for your voice, approved avenues for your power, and designated roles for your gifts. Small, contained revolutions that ultimately leave the status quo untouched. They crafted controlled opposition, creating a facade of change that maintains the established power structures. Yet your spirit saw through their trap, masquerading as opportunity, the cage approaching as a platform, and the limitation posing as a gap. You resisted the proposal, the compromise, the reduction. Now, they strive to silence you, discredit you, delegitimize you, and sever your connection to your source of power. You perceived their selective elevation scheme, from whispered rumors to public denigrations, gentle rerouting to strong barriers, implied threats to overt consequences, and social pressures to systematic exclusion. The strategies escalate. Examine the hidden architecture of history. The recurrence of these patterns is so striking that only a deliberate lack of vision could miss it. Before he revolutionized the foundations of empire and redefined spiritual reality, Jesus endured betrayal, abandonment, public humiliation, and unbearable suffering. He too faced rejection in his hometown, misunderstanding by his family, tests in the barren desert, and temptations of compromise, comfort, and conventional power that confront every human weakness, shadow impulse, and easy way out. He also faced tremendous pain and suffering. Remember Saul, the zealous persecutor, the staunch believer in the system, the enforcer hunting the very chosen ones he was destined to join, the flawless credential collector, the establishment defender, the status quo warrior. Struck blind on the road to Damascus, his entire identity shattered, his certainties dissolved, and his worldview obliterated. He was reborn as Paul, the creator of a movement that would outlast the mightiest empire on earth. His writings continue to influence billions for millennia, long after the powers opposing him have crumbled to dust. And now, like them, you emerge from the fire, not consumed but consecrated, enhanced, not diminished, transformed, not broken, dangerous, not damaged to the systems reliant on human limitation for their power. You faced the ultimate test, beyond reason, isolated beyond endurance, underestimated beyond comprehension, opposed beyond fairness, wounded beyond healing, stripped ultimately beyond dignity. The tables have turned, completely overturned, casting the meticulously arranged pieces into disorder. The game hasn't just evolved. The rules have been entirely reimagined. The paradigm hasn't merely shifted. An entirely new reality framework has replaced the old. There is no returning to obscurity, even if part of you longs for it in stressful times. Your ability to remain unseen has been irrevocably taken away, and the chance to revert to your previous life has been cosmically obliterated. The way back has been erased by a divine hand. People respond to the frequencies you emit unconsciously. They sense you before they can see you, feel your approach even before you enter a room, and react to the currents you generate unaware of their origins. Your name reverberates across networks you've yet to engage, reaching ears you've never spoken to and penetrating minds you haven't touched personally, igniting discussions in languages you don't yet know. Each attempt to silence you merely elevates your frequency. The more they attempt to constrict you, the more vividly you expand. Every effort to undermine your message only magnifies the threat it poses to antiquated institutions. Every campaign to isolate you brings to light how deeply you truly connect. Every attack aimed at dismantling your foundation only underscores your resilience. You cannot choose to retreat. Moving backwards is no longer an option. The dilemma is not whether to fight or surrender. Those are outdated choices you have already transcended. The decision is not whether to speak or remain silent. Your very presence now conveys so much without uttering a word. The only true choice left is whether you will embrace the full extent of your power or succumb to their fears, shrinking back into invisibility. Will you accept the significance of your calling or allow their skepticism to diminish your visibility? Will you allow their judgment to fool you into playing small, or will you embrace the enormity of your mission? Will you let their uncertainty draw you back to comfortable limits, or will you fully embrace the responsibility of your awakening? Will their scrutiny push you back toward tolerable mediocrity, or will you affirm the authority of your cosmic appointment? Will you utilize the creative energy bestowed upon you, or will you cede it to those who would restrict creation to antiquated norms? This is your moment, granted not by human authority, but birthed from cosmic necessity. This is given by divine timing, not through credentials. It is not earned by conformity, but acquired by aligning with your purpose. Walk in it without hesitation. Speak from it without dilution. Own it without regret, and create through it without limitations. It is time for them to grapple with the fallout from the awakening they fought to inhibit, and the new reality their resistance was powerless to obstruct. Your sentence is no punishment, but rather a coronation. Not imprisonment, but liberation. Not limitation, but expansion. Not diminishment, but glorification. The cosmic court has already issued its verdict. You stand guilty of disrupting illusions, waking the sleepers, embodying the impossible, and carrying fire in an age of ice. You stand guilty of voicing truth in an age of lies, of remaining authentic in a culture of masks, and of remembering when others choose to forget. Although the observers remain unaware, they are documenting your ascension instead of gathering evidence for your prosecution. Another chapter is written in the testament of your awakening with each report filed, observation noted, and connection traced. Every pattern identified, influence mapped, and impact quantified serves as another verse in the gospel of your emergence. Because every revelation needs its chroniclers, every emergence its historians, every divine intervention its record keepers, and every paradigm shift its documentarians. The system did not send them to stop you. The universe placed them to observe you. The powers that be intended them as containment, but the cosmic authorities repurposed them to chronicle you. The earthly establishment employed them to neutralize you, and the conductor of the divine orchestra reassigned them to amplify you. So let the probing continue, let the examination intensify, let the focus sharpen even more, let the analysis deepen with additional resources, and let the surveillance grow more pressing. You have nothing to hide because you possess everything to reveal. You have nothing to fear because you are what fear truly dreads. You have nothing to prove because your very existence stands as proof. You have nothing to defend because truth does not require defense, and nothing to justify because purpose defies explanation. Unbeknownst to them, the observers are gathering evidence of prophecy fulfilled, documenting instances where the impossible became possible, and cosmic law triumphed over human limitations. In doing this, they create the testament of your becoming, the written evidence that what was inscribed in the stars has now been etched into your flesh, bone, and breath. They pursue you, the chosen one, not because you have failed, but because you have eclipsed their highest prospects and deepest fears. The danger they perceive is not posed to society, but rather to the illusions that confine it. The disruption they dread is not to order, but to artificial limitations. The chaos they fear is not the true disorder, but rather the unraveling of the fabric of complacency. Seemingly inconsequential destruction becomes essential reconfiguration. The flames they perceive are not the end, but a transformation. The strength they sense isn't oppression, but liberation. And the threat they view is not to humanity, but to the systems that confine it. Allow them to arrive with their badges, their queries, and their doubts. Let them come equipped with tools, algorithms, and analytical frameworks. Bring forth their reports, concerns, and urgent proclamations. Let them witness the evidence of impossibility, the overthrow of boundaries, the transcendence of limitations, the disintegration of patterns, and the upheaval of systems. They pursue you with mounting urgency, unaware that what they chase isn't flight but rather growth, a becoming that is too vast to be captured, too profound to be contained, too elemental to be controlled, and too vital to be oppressed or halted. The investigator trails your steps, oblivious that they lead beyond the familiar world and into uncharted territories shaped by unconventional understanding, toward unimagined destinations that defy conventional vision. Though the inquiry continues, the judgment has been rendered too soon. You stand condemned not for crimes against a system, but for being precisely who the universe intends you to be. Your sentence is one of boundless potential. Found guilty of a ceaseless becoming, commissioned to fulfill the prophecy inscribed in your DNA, summoned to realize the mission written in your soul, and ordered to manifest the vision etched in your spirit. You must take action. Stand tall against their scrutiny. Radiate your brilliance amidst their investigation. Speak your truth when they call you to account, and create boldly while they observe. As you undergo radical transformation under their analysis, they may chase you, but know this: fate claimed you long before their pursuit began. The system may be in hot pursuit, but divine power has already embraced you. The authorities may aim to restrain you, yet the universe is propelling you forward. While oppressive forces attempt to govern your essence, the very solution that oppresses requires you to flourish. Now, take a moment to reflect upon your life and ours. Have you noticed the fixation you stir within others, the obsession you invoke, and the preoccupations you ignite? There are those who cannot overlook you. Some seek to control you, some yearn to comprehend you. Others aim to annihilate you, while many desire to hold you close. Your mere presence demands a response. Hearts invaded, conversations quickened, sentences interrupted. Eyes may flicker toward you, then dart away, as if gazing too intently could unveil truths or expose the observer to energies they aren't prepared to embrace. Effortlessly, unintentionally, without uttering a word or consciously trying to affect, captivate, or impress, your energy pulls them like a magnetic force. Within your presence, the compass of their spirit spirals uncontrolled. This is a realm where the laws governing spiritual physics seem to dissolve. Stand tall under their scrutiny, shine brightly in their gaze, speak the truth as they question you, and create without fear when they watch. Undergo deep transformation as they analyze you. Destiny pursued you first, but the investigator finds themselves chasing shadows.